welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much to my subscribers. Welcome newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey with us, growing one big family. And I appreciate all the support I can get. I want to mention that if the video is too fast for you on my tutorials, up top there's 3 little buttons on the right hand corner for most of you. For some of you, it's on your settings as you go to the video. For the 3 little buttons up top, click there. It tells you to slow down the video to the speed you'd like. Also turn the CC caption, which is right next to the 3 little buttons, so you can read all the stitch calling that I'm doing. Down here, everything will be written. You could also choose the language you like by just clicking on the 3 little buttons and go to the language you would like, and you would have it on your own language, everything written down here. So I also want to mention thank you so much for the people that came through for the thread and have donated some money, either through the super thanks or through my PayPal account. Now, when you do the super thanks, YouTube itself takes 30% of whatever you're donating through there. Obviously, PayPal, they don't take anything, but choice is yours. You can do whatever you'd like, as long as you have it in your heart to help out the women in need of thread. And I thank you in advance, and they do too. Please don't forget to give a thumbs up on the video. It's extremely important. Also, sharing is caring. And invite your friends to the channel. I also have the crochet group, private group, if you'd like to be in the private group. All you have to do is request, and one of my monitors will review, as long as you have a profile picture, and accept you into the group. I also have a crochet page. You can follow me through there. On Facebook, of course. This is all Facebook. Also Instagram, if you need any help with creating some patterns and you're stuck and you have Instagram, you can message me through Instagram. It's much easier and faster to get a hold of me. I also have TikTok. Everything is on the description box. All the video links, if I have part 1, 2, 3, also is in the description box below the video. There's a little arrow like a V right on the right hand side below the video. You click on there, it opens up that page, and all the links are there. So thank you once again. We are going to get started. Please be careful if you're involved into the crochet groups. There's a lot of scammers, and they launch links with bits and cuts. These are scammers. They will rob you, your identity, and all your information on your phone or your computers. Don't open those sites up. It's extremely important that you are careful, because there's a lot going on into the crochet groups nowadays. Okay, let's get started, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here, and welcome newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey with us, growing one big family. I want to thank every single one of you for your support, your thumbs up, your comments, your sharing, your tagging me, creating my pieces. Some of you are really, really amazing pieces of art. I could actually say even sometimes better than my own, much nicer, which makes me extremely happy and proud of you. So continue on. You're amazing. And for the ones that think it's too complicated and you can't do it, don't believe that for a second. You can do all things as long as you put your mind to it. You have patience with yourself. Not every time everything goes, perfectly smooth. Sometimes we have to frog it quite a bit of times. For people that don't know what frog means, that means tear it down. And that's how it goes, and recreate it. But never give up. God is good. Okay, so today I'm going to recreate a pattern, pineapple pattern. There's 6 of them, I believe. It's a special request from one of the members of my crochet group, and also a family member, of course, of YouTube family member here, Miss Suzanne Leonardo. This apparently, from what I understand, used to be from either her grandmother or her husband's grandmother. So the pattern is like over 80 years old and then some. I'm going to try my best to do it. The only difference is it's just one piece that the lady had created herself. The pattern, it's just one piece of pineapples, like 6 of them, just like a doily sort of thing. But you know me, usually when people request certain things, I like to switch up the game and turn it into my own style. So I'm going to create a centerpiece with it. And I'm going to add on both sides to make it a table runner. I think it's going to be stunning. The pattern itself is gorgeous. It's, you know, she had posted the picture up on the group. I took a snapshot of it, and I'm just going to try to follow it by there. Hopefully I can make out most of the stitches so it doesn't become too complicated for myself. But it should be okay. I mean, I'm usually pretty good visualizing things, so... Thank you so much, Suzanne. I send you so much hugs, my dear. May God bless you in every sense of the word. I'm glad that you put the picture up, and hopefully this will help you to create a gorgeous table runner out of it. And you know, perfect for your table as gifts, as you know, donation, as whatever, or even just a nice big frame and frame it up. Maybe put her name on there. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to get started. I'm going to use the white. I'm going to use 2.75. Now, my thread is a 4-ply. It's similar to Aunt Lydia, a little bit thinner. So that means if you're using Aunt Lydia number 3, your pattern will be bigger than mine, a bit more bigger than mine. You can do this with number 10, but it will be much smaller, which actually is perfect for as a frame. If it's for a table runner with Aunt Lydia number 3, it's perfect from as well. If your table is big enough, the 4-seater table, if it's big enough, because I do have a 4-seater table on my kitchen, but it's extremely small. So Aunt Lydia number 3 would be too big for my table. So I would have to use like a 10 Aunt Lydia. So if not, if your table's too small and you do want a table runner, or if you have a 6-seater to an 8-seater, it's perfect, Aunt Lydia, for that number 3. Cotton thread, of course, 100%. And a pair of scissors and a small one to tuck in loose ends. So I hope you're going to enjoy this tutorial. I hope I'm going to do justice to this pattern. I sure hope so. I mean, imagine that. And if you enjoy and like the tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much, Suzanne, for the picture. So we're going to try to beat this challenge, right? Thank you, and God bless you and bless everybody also. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is that magic circle, or do a 6 chain. I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to do 1 chain. I'm going to come back and do a single and 2 chain. This equals my double crochet. Inside of this magic circle, or your ring of 6 chain, we're going to do a total of 18 double crochets. So this is row 1, and I'll meet you at the end. So I've done my 18 double crochets. Let me just bring this up a little bit. I'm going to do the walk, I call it the walk, into the center in between both double crochets with a single and 2 chain, and 1 for space. In between again, the next space, I'm going to do a double crochet, 1 chain space, in between again, and again. So this row 2 is just 1 double crochet, 1 chain space, and I'm going in between the double crochets. So I'll meet you at the end. So I've closed in with the slip stitch on my 2nd chain, because we did a single and 2 chains. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Let me just check that. I must have missed, so I missed one. Of course, it has to be 18. We have 18 underneath, so make sure you don't make that same mistake as I just did. The good thing about it is to recount it. So you have to have your 18, 1 chain, and then close it in. Again, I'm going to walk into the center here. This is row 3, single, 2 chain. and 2 more for space. So I'm coming in the next one. So we're still doing the 18 on this row 3 of double crochet. The only difference is we're doing 2 chain space in between them. Obviously it's growing. We don't want the pattern to pull. If people have too much of a loosage, then you could use a smaller hook or do only 1 chain. If you're extremely tight, then you need to add a bigger hook, a size or 2 bigger. Oops, and I get lost when I'm, yep, right? Okay, so 2 chain, you're supposed to have 18 again, and 2 inside of each little space. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. So I've completed my 18 double crochet, 1 per space inside of the 1 chain space that we had from the previous row, and we did 2 chain space. I'm coming back in again with a single in between and 2 chain. So that equals my double crochet. I'm going to do another double crochet. So we're going to build groups now of 2 double crochet. 2 chain space into the next space, and 2 more double crochet, 2 chain and 2 more double crochet, 2 chain and 2 more double crochet. So we're going to repeat this row 4 the same way all the way around. This is just to create the base in order for us to do the pineapples on one side and then the pineapples on the other side. I think it will look stunning. Well, at least I'm hoping it's going to look stunning, but I'm almost sure it will. Okay, so row 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, everyone, so I finished row 4. Now, row 5 and row 6 will be exactly the same thing. So I'm doing a slip stitch. I'm coming in, single, 2 chain. We're going to create groups of 3 double crochet this time on row 5. Row 6, the same thing, groups of 3. The only difference is we're going to do 2 chain here, and row 6 will do 3 chain, okay, because we don't want the pattern to crumple up. So 2 chain on row 5, and row 6 will have 3 chain. It's exactly the same thing as row 5, 3 double crochet. So we're building groups of 3 double crochets on row 5 and row 6. So this is 2 chain and 3 double crochets. So I'll meet you at the end of row 6 with 3 chain space between them. Okay? So I finished row 5. Just want to show you here we're doing the slip stitch in through it. I call it the walk, and then coming right into the center with a single 2 chain, creating those 3 double crochets as I mentioned, and 1, 2, 3 chain and into the next space with the 3 double crochets. This is row 6. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everybody, going into row 7, I'm going to do the walk again. I'm going to come in the center this time, a single 2 chain. This time we're going to build shells of 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3 chain. For some of you, 2 chain if you're too loose, and 3 more double crochet. Like that. Going into the next space. This row will be all about shells of 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3 chain, and 3 more double crochet. We're going to repeat this all the way around the same way, directly into the next space. just like that. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I finished row 7 going into row 8. Getting my thread here stuck. I'm going to do the walk again with a slip stitch to the center. I'm going to create my shell, 3 double crochets, and 1, 2, 3 chain. For some of you, if you're too loose, then do only 2 chain. Okay, I'm going to come directly again and do 3 double crochets, chain 3, and 3 more double crochet. I'm going to come directly into the next one, 1 double crochet, chain 3, and another double crochet. If you find that it's too tight, it's pulling too much, then do 1 chain. I'm going to try to see if I can get away with it. If I can, then I will. So I'm going to build again those 3 double crochets. I probably have to do 1 chain here. I think it's too tight. And that's how you create things. You look at it and you don't feel comfortable. And you just take it down a bit and redo 1, 2, 3 chain. Come back in. Double crochet, 1 chain space, create your shell. So basically I'm going to do 2 motifs like this with shells, no space, and then 1 chain and 1 like this. 2 motifs again, and then 1 like this. 1, 2, 3. Into the next one. If you have to do a chain space, then go ahead. Don't be afraid. You don't want the pattern to be pulling, okay? 1, 2, 3. It's not going to change anything on the pattern if you do 1 chain space and then 1 chain again. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do 1 double crochet, chain 3, and another double crochet. And then, of course, 1 chain and create your 2 groups again. And we're going to repeat the same thing. So 2 groups and then the V. 2 groups and then the V. Okay, all the way to the end. Okay, everyone. So we finished row 8. Going into row 9, I'm going to do the walk again into the center here. Single 2 chain. We're going to do exactly the same thing as we just did. 3 chain and 3 more double crochet. The only difference is we're going to increase on the chains here in between them. So I'm going to do 1 chain here and I'm coming in and doing my shell. Three chain and 3 double crochet. I'm going to do 1 chain and create my V, 2, 3, 1 chain, and do my shells again. If you find that it's too tight, then do 2 chain instead of 1. In between your motifs. Okay, so I'm going to do 1 chain and create my next shell. If I had found that it was too tight, I would have done a 2 chain here. So very simple. It's just a repeat. 1 chain and create your V. 1, 2, 3 chain. 1 chain and create your shells. And 1 chain in between the shells. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, so we pretty much finished doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, going into row 10. Now, this row 10, I'm going to complete the side centerpiece. So I'm coming in, single 1, 2, 3, 4 chain, coming back in, and closing it off. 1, 2, 3, 4 chain, coming back in, single 1, 2, 3, 4 chain, coming back in, and single. I'm going to do 1 chain. I'm coming in the center here with a single, 1 chain. I'm going to come into the center of the next motif, and I'm going to explain something. Where we have the V, if we count the V's, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. These 2 V's, we're going to work for the pineapples. That's why we're closing the rest off, okay? So again, we're just going to repeat. So if you want to put like a marker, then it's best so you don't get lost in the way. So we'll put the marker here on this V. It's the V right before we started. We've closed off. And then you count this V. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to work on this one here too. So that means if you come from here again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you have 4 on both sides. Okay, so come in as a single. 1, 2, 3, 4. Single. 1, 2, 3, 4. Single. 1, 2, 3, 4. And single again. 1 chain, come into center. 1 chain, and again in the center of this V, we're just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, exactly as we've been doing. 1, 2, 3, 4 chain. So we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4 chain 3 times, okay? So until we get to here, so you know it's 1 chain space, come in the center, single, 1 chain, and then again come here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be a repeat like this until we get to our V here, okay? My lighting is just horrible here, so I'll try to do my best. So I'll meet you here where we have the marker, okay? Okay, everyone, I just try to brighten this up a little bit. So we have, from the marker, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the if you want to call them peacocks, they're really not peacocks, but close enough, right? Okay, so now we are where we have the marker. I did my 1 chain. I'm going to come in and I'm going to do a double crochet. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chain. I'm going to come in again and do a double crochet. I'm going to take out my marker because I don't need it anymore. And we're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. So 1 chain, come back in, and continue to do your same thing as we've just done here, 8 of these 4 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, until the next marker. and then we'll start the pineapple on the next marker where we have the marker. Don't forget you have to do your 6 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chain. I'll meet you there at the marker. So I've done my 8. Remember, this is where we have the 6 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I've just taken up my marker, and we're going to do exactly how we did here. So 1 chain, come in, double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come in again with a double crochet. 1 chain, not 1 chain, single, sorry, 1 chain, and I'm going to come where I have my first single. Now you could just walk back. It's better to cut because we need to be facing the proper way. So I'm just going to cut it. And of course, tuck in the loose ends, bring your thread to the back in between all of the little loops back here, or some loops back here, just to hide the thread and to make sure that it's all secure. We don't want nothing to be coming apart. If you need to make a knot, go ahead to secure your pattern. So we have that. Stretch it a bit, you should be good. We have the 6 chain and we have the 6 chain. So we're going to start the pineapple. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to create on my own the pineapples. So when I come back to the tutorial, I can show you as I'm going. I think it will make it easier for you guys. Okay? So I'll be back when I'm done one side. And you have to remember whatever, the tutorial will be on one side. You will have to repeat and do the same thing on the other side to get your pattern going as a runner. Okay, everyone. So I pretty much did one side already. I did the edge a little bit different than what it is on the original picture. Of course, like I said, I wanted to create something close enough, but turn it into my own. So I think it's pretty good. I had to do a few adjustments because I couldn't figure out sometime certain stitches that were around on the second pineapple. I don't know why it was done that way, but I guess that's how they did it back then on the days. I don't know, but this is what it is. So we'll have one side, and then now we're going to create the other side, which is on here. Now, for Miss Suzanne, if you wanted to do exactly just this pattern and not the middle, then you would do just a 6 chain. Okay, just a 6 chain, either with magic circle or 6 chain, close it up, and then you would follow the tutorial as I'm going to do from here on. Okay, so nothing to it. You don't have to do this part. You can do exactly like the picture, just from here on. So there's no need to add that middle centerpiece. I think it just, I wanted to make it my own. So into the centerpiece, it's such a beautiful pattern here with the pineapples that I wanted to make it as a runner. Okay. Another thing that, because I did the closing the same way as I did here, if I thought a little bit sooner, I wouldn't have done the closing here at the edge right away. I would have done the closing as I went. But, you learn as you go. So no biggie. I started from here and went all the way and then stopped here. So not that it went out of my way anyway. Okay, so we are going to continue this by going on this side. So this side is going to be very, very simple. Of course, you have to pay attention. There's quite a bit of little. Okay, so slip stitch knot. I'm going to come in on top of this double crochet here. Obviously, with the magic circle, there is no double crochet, so you do the 13 inside of the space. Now, what I'm going to do is this loop that I have here, I'm just going to close it in with slip stitch. So I have, just so it can be attached, okay? So I have my second double crochet. We're going to do a total of 13. And the last one, which is the 13th, we're going to do on top of this double crochet, and then we're going to attach it here with a slip stitch, okay? I'm on my 13, so I'm going to come on top of the double crochet, and I'm also going to come on this first one here, this first 3 or 4 chain loop with a slip stitch, so I can have that closed in. I'm going to turn around, so now we're going to keep working back and forth. I'm going to come back in, top of the double crochet with single, 2 chain, 1 more for space. I'm just going to check here just to make sure. And so we're going to do again the 13 double crochets with 1 chain space between them, okay? So very simple. Continue. Actually, let me just see. Let me go back again. Sorry. We need to attach that too. I don't know. What was I thinking? Okay, so single, 2 chain. That's why it's always important to look ahead of the video also. So, okay, slip stitch on the second loop there. And 1 chain space. I'm coming in the next, so 1 chain space. And again, 1 chain space, and we're going to do the same thing at the end, just so we can have that pattern that looks like it was all built in one piece to the end. Okay, so it's going to be like that. I'm on my 13 double crochet, and I'm going to come into the second one here and just slip stitch. Okay, so now we have 13 also there again. So let's say this is row 1, row 2. I'm not counting with this big one here. I'm counting row 1, row 2. So let's just go back into that first double crochet. I'm going to do 1 single, 1, 2, 3. I'm coming in the first loop in between the double crochet, 1, 2, 3. Second, 1, 2, 3. Third, 1, 2, 3. Fourth, and continue until the end. So I'm on my 12 3 chain loop, and I'm going to come on top of the double crochet that we have here, and 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to come back in the same double crochet. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to come inside of this 3 chain loop, single, 2 chain, come back in. We're going to start to build shells with 2 double crochets. So chain 2, and again 2 more double crochets inside the same first 3 chain here. I'm coming into the next one with a single. I'm coming into the next one again and create my shells of 2 double crochet, 2 chain space. Come back in. I need to move this because I don't want you guys to get distracted. Sometimes, you know, when there's the same type of thing in the background, it distracts us. Okay, so again, we're building these shells of 2 double crochet, 2 chain, and 2 double crochet in the same space. We're going to do that. Next space, we're doing a single, and then next space, create the shell. You're supposed to have 7 shells at the end when you get to the end. So make sure of that. If you don't, it's because you're missing a loop or you have too much. Okay? Okay, you guys, so I finished doing my 7 groups of shells. Just make sure that I have, okay, so I have my first one here, and then single, shell, single, shell, single. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In case for some reason you missed out a loop somewhere, don't stress over it. Just come in, put it in between, and then put it on the last one. You'll have your 7 groups. Okay? So now 1, 2, 3, 4. We finished doing row 4, right? 1, 2, 3 is the loops, and the shells are row 4. Now this row here is exactly the same thing. So what are we going to do? We're going to do 1, 2, 3 chain. We're coming inside of the first middle of the first shell and creating shell again. So this row will be all about shells the same way as we just did. The only difference is we are not doing any chains. We're just jumping from one shell to another and creating shells. So we'll have, to show you here, we'll have shells again at the end. So we did the shells here. We're doing the shells here. If it's too tight for you and you see that it's pulling, which most probably will pull, so I'm going to do 1 chain space. That's what I just noticed I did on the other one. Okay, so 1 chain space, and bear with me with this pattern because I mean I had to keep looking into the picture, and it's a beautiful picture, yes, but sometimes when you pull up a close-up it becomes blurry, so you really cannot see well the stitches, but you know, you try to figure out the best you can. It's not like perfection on my part, but I've tried as much as I can with sometimes bringing the picture close up and it's so blurry. Okay, so shells again, 7 shells, 1 chain space between them. Okay, so I've created my 7 shells again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and every time until the end of the pattern, we're always going to do a 3 chain at the end and also at the end of every pattern. At the end of every row, I should say. Okay, so this row again is going to be shells. We'll be having 4 rows of shells. The only thing that's going to be different is going to be the increase on the space chain. Okay, so 3 chain and then create your shell. Chain 2. And then again, create your shell again. So your shells are of 2 double crochets all the way to the end of the pattern. 2 chain space here. Next row will have 3 chain space. Will be shells also, but with 3 chain space in between the shells. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So row 6 and row 7 will be the same. Row 7 will have 3 chains here. When you get to the end of row 6, you must do the 3 chain here at the end and going up to turn. Okay, these chains have to stay there. This is what brings the motive for the edging. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of row 7. Since it's the same thing, it's just 3 chain on the next row. Okay, everyone, so going into row 8, because row 7 was exactly the same, was just a 3 chain space. So I've finished my shell, did my 3 chain, turned around, going to do shell again. Now for sure this is probably going to have to take like maybe 2 videos because there's so much little details, right? And it takes too much memory on my mobile phone. Chain 3, coming into the, so after we've done chain 3, we're going to start the foundation of the 3 pineapples. So inside of this loop of 2 chain on this shell, we're going to do 12 double crochets. Okay, so chain 3, shell 3, and 12 double crochets. I've done my 12 double crochets. I'm going to do chain 3, coming in and doing my shell. So 2 double crochet, 2 chain, and 2 double crochet, like that. Chain 3 again, coming into the next one and building again our second pineapple foundation with 12 double crochet. So from now on, the pineapples are all 12 double crochet. Okay, so I've done my 12 double crochet, chain 3, coming in the next one and doing my shell. 2 double crochet, 2 chain, and 2 more double crochet. So our shells are always the same way. Chain 3, and creating my third foundation for the third pineapple. So 12 double crochets. And then once we do the 12 double crochets, we're doing chain 3, shell, and chain 3 to turn. So I'll meet you there. Okay, so I've done my 12, chain 3, my shell, and chain 3 again. Going to turn my pattern. Gonna come in, do my shell, trying to pull my thread here that is stuck. Chain 2, and again 1, 2, chain 3. I'm going to come in the same one, same first double crochet, 1 chain space, and we're going to create the 12 double crochets with 1 chain space between them. Okay, so 12 double crochets, 1 chain space between them, chain 3, shell, chain 3, and repeat the same thing as we've been doing. 1 double crochet on each 12 double crochets, 1 chain space. But I'll meet you there on the second pineapple. Okay, so chain 3, shell, chain 3, double crochet, 1 chain space 12 times, chain 3, shell, chain 3, and create the same thing again. Double crochet, 1 chain space, next space, double crochet, 1 chain space, and create your 12 double crochet separated space of 1 chain. Then chain 3, shell. Repeat the same thing again. 1 double crochet, 1 chain space, exactly as we did here, all the way to the end. So after you do your 12 double crochets, chain 3, shell, chain 3 going up. I'll meet you on the chain 3 going up. Okay, so we finished row 9, going into row 10. I did my 3 chains. We're going to build again the shell. Chain 3. Now this time we're coming inside between the first double crochet and the second. We're going to start to create those loops for the pineapple. Chain 3. All the pineapples take the same loops, which is chain 3. Now you're supposed to have 11 loops. By the time you finish doing all 3 chains through all of them, I'll meet you here at the end. Okay, I said it was 11 loops, which is wrong. It's 10 loops of 3 chain. For some reason I said 11. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 double crochets, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 loops of 3 chain. Chain 3, And we're going to proceed the same way. Let me just check here. So do your shell, and we're going to repeat the same thing with the other pineapples. 1, 2, 3, and then come in single. So we're going to create the 10 loops here, chain 3, shell, chain 3, and then loops again, chain 3, shell, and then chain 3 going up. So it's just a repeat of what we just done with the other pineapples, okay? I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, so we finished row 10, which was the same way. We're going to turn around after doing the 3 chain, going to row 11. Create your shell. Chain 3, and again into the loops. Chain 3 in the middle of the next loop. So now we're decreasing on the loops of the pineapple, and we're going to repeat this the same way all the way to the end as we're doing now. Okay, so really nothing to it. So I finished creating all the loops, and now we're decreasing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 loops now. Next row we'll have 8 loops, and that's how it goes. So creating my shell, and we're going to repeat the same thing. Create your shell, chain 3, and into the loop. And do your 9 loops again with chain 3 all the way to the end. Okay? And I'll meet you at the end.